I love how Mama made things clear to Mark. Yes, I'm just going to repeat Mama's line because I'm already in love with that line. You know why? There are people who are related to you that use that always against you. They always want to tell you, oh, you know, I'm your sister. Oh, you know, I'm your brother. As such, they use that emotional stuff to make you do things you do not want to do. Things that when it comes to their own turn, they won't even do it for you. Don't allow anybody to use that against you. So, Mama said, that yes, she knows the blood ties, but when the blood ties begins to choke, that is best you untie it so that you can breathe. If you have people in your life who do not allow you breathe, please untie that blood ties and breathe. Yes, because Mark is someone who feels he can always eat his cake and have it. Mark doesn't pick a stand. Like Mark is someone who can be for and against at the same time. This minute Mark is for you. The next minute you don't even know where Mark belongs. And I love the fact that Mama had to set the record straight for him. Like put him in his place. Because if Mark, if not for what happened, if not for how the table turned, Mark would have thrown Mama and his other siblings out of the house without even blinking. In fact, he was on his way to do it already before the whole thing changed. So I love the fact that Mama is not giving Mark that, space to come into to kind of use them again because that's what he always do. He always use these blood size things to make them do things for him, and I like the fact that Mama is not having it this time around. Guys, what do you think? Do you think that Mama is a bit harsh with the way she responded to Mark? Or you actually think this serves Mark right? To me, I just feel like the response that Mama gave to Mark is the best. Like Mark deserves it. Mark is not someone you just talk lightly to. Mark is someone who you need to put in his place because he doesn't even know where he stands. Now, Vivian is just chasing him away, and then the family are also not, for him. That is why I always tell people no matter what you do in this life, just know that family is family. Everybody needs a root, and your root is your family. Do not allow anyone cut you out of your family. Do not allow any, whether husband or wife, cut you away from your family. Your family is your root. Husband might decide to walk away, wife might decide to walk away, but you see, family will always be family. So don't wrong them. Don't do things. I don't mean that there are some family that they just want to use that blood ties and all the rest of them to make you do everything, that to make you do their biddings. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone coming into your life to tell you that, okay, you should chase all your family members away. You should not come close. There should be no connection between you and your family. These are the people I'm talking about. Not that kind of family members that want to choke you with this family thing and make you do their biddings, even against your own will. All right, so I'm in love with what Mama did to Mark. Moving on, guys, Madam Stella is, she's a talk and do. So finally, Vivian and Madam Stella got to meet after they have carried out their act. Remember that same night that Lisa was hit by Vivian? That was the same night that, Madam Stella sent someone to take Nick's life. So finally, they got to discuss about it because, Vivian was surprised because she was not the one that instructed anyone. She didn't take Nick's life, neither did she instruct anyone to kind of do that for her. Even though she had a discussion with the mother, she didn't know that the mother was going to take things that fast. So she needed to ask the mother if it was the mother that did that to Nick or it was someone else. So finally, they had a discussion, and this discussion is a very interesting one. So Vivian had to ask the mother if she was the one that took Nick's life. And yes, Madam Stella said yes, that she needed to do it fast because, that Nick did something that she cannot tolerate from anybody. The way Nick treated her and all those stuff, she feel that the Nick made her feel less of herself and she can't take that from anybody. While they were discussing, Madam Stella was already happy because yes, their problem is kind of half solved, or rather almost solved, because Nick was just the big problem. They had already gotten the money they wanted from the family, and the plan was to kind of elope. But then again, Vivian brought up the idea of she trying to take Lisa's life and all those stuff, and how now all fingers are pointing at her because they got to know that the person who attempted to delete Lisa happens to be a hooded woman. Like, she was wearing hoodie and all that, and that's, is pointing to her, being that the person is a lady and that every finger is pointing at her. The mother was like, since there is no proof, even if it has to do, or even if it is a woman that tried to do that, then nobody saw your face and all those stuff. And the mother was trying to kind of reassure Vivian. Vivian feels that, with everything, how does she wiggle out of all this problem? Like, now she feels that Nick, who happens to be her biggest problem, is out of the way. And then there is suspicion from here and there. Ben is saying that the pregnancy is not for Mark. And then again, they are beginning to suspect that she's the one that tried to take, Lisa's life. But the mother reassured her. Now, what do I have to say about this? What I have to say is, in this life, you will always use sin to pay for another sin. What does that mean? When you start something that is not good, in order for you to keep covering up, you keep doing bad. Like, you keep committing one crime or one thing or the other to cover up, and it will never end. Now, to Madam Vivian, or rather Vivian and Madam Stella, they thought that Nick was just their only problem after they have ended up getting the family's kind of money and all the rest of them. They thought that their problem was over. But right now, they are having bigger one. I mean, being suspected for about how many things is a whole lot for Vivian. So it's better you don't start some certain kind of things, because you end up using sin to cover sin. You end up committing more to cover the one you've done before. So guys, what do you think? Do you think that Vivian has something to worry about anymore, considering the fact, at least for now, we all know that Scammer will catch up with, Vivian sooner or later. But then, do you think she has a lot of things to worry about now, considering the fact that everyone is just pointing, accusing fingers on her, saying that she's the one that deleted Nick, and she's also the one that tried to take, Lisa's life. And then, considering the fact that the whole thing happened the same night, do you think that that would be a way of, exempting Vivian from this particular act? Like, do they expect her to kind of be able to carry out such acts in same night? What do you think, guys? Do you think Vivian is free at this point, or she has a lot of things to worry about? Thank you all for your love and support. I do not take it for granted. Until I see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.